Hey, everyone.
Hey!
Welcome to the patch number 07.
I was chatting a little bit there. Did
Yeah.
I throw you off your intro game?
No, good. We got Gus, Bernie, Michael.
Hello.
Michael, everybody.
Welcome.
It's me.
Your
Yeah,
first time
I,
sitting in, right?
Yes, I like this cozy little tiny table deal.
It's like it's the hot seat, right?
Yeah.
You sit here and we're like, it's like hot
Dun,
box
dun, dun, dun,
discussion.
dun,
It's like the McLaughlin group,
like the
but with
millionaire.
video games.
Want to be a millionaire? Get the lights going down.
Or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire,
Yeah.
that too.
What am I gonna win?
Ba-da-ba-da-bum. Yeah, hey, you look good in your shot there. You look all well lit and everything. I'm really excited because we have a new podcast producer. And we talked about him on, I think on the RT podcast.
Yeah.
Have we talked about him on the Patch Chat?
I don't know.
Patrick is our new podcast producer, so he makes sure everything goes out. We had a lot of compliments about the World War Z spoiler cast we did last week and
Great.
audio quality and all that. That's all because of Patrick. So
Yeah, he's
we love you,
working on it.
Patrick.
It's there's a lot to take in when
There
it comes
is.
to the podcast production. There's many steps.
And it's a moving target too. In fact,
Yeah.
in doing preparation for topics for the patch today, and there's a ton of stuff to talk about today. I was working with Sarah, sending her a bunch of assets, and she's trying to get all that stuff lined up. So we'll see how well that works.
Did you hear about the Lego Xbox 360 disc changer?
You having problems? Getting a lot of updates about
I've
that?
heard about it a few times. I think it's gonna be my running joke. I'm gonna bring it up every fucking episode just so that people will stop sending me the goddamn and of course now they're gonna send a million of them.
No, they always will. They always will. I won't even counter with things that people send me because I don't want to get sent anymore. Although there is the long-running thing that people send me, and it's really great now because I just go block on Twitter. I found out when you block somebody on Twitter,
Yeah.
it just gets rid of their post.
Oh yeah. It's
Oh
the
yeah, it
best.
does.
It's like erasing. It's like the only way to erase somebody's post on Twitter is to block them. So now it's just okay, I
It's
can
easy,
handle
too.
that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you block?
I didn't want to say. I don't want to say.
I think I know what it is
Yeah.
too.
Anybody who's watched any of the podcasts knows what people tweet to me on a regular basis.
So I guess
It's
we
how
should,
hot I am.
Right away, we should address the fact and let everyone know that this episode of the patch is pre-recorded. Unfortunately, with RTX coming out or happening this weekend, we have to pre-record this week's patch. Hopefully, we'll be back. We plan to be back live again next week, but this week we are pre-recording.
But we're
on
only
Monday.
a day or two off. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal. I mean, what could possibly happen in video
Just
games
so
in
that-
one day?
If people don't tweet at us and wonder why we're not talking about something, or if there's big news, like today, Don Matrick announced he's leaving.
Today.
Yeah, sorry, earlier this week, Don
Yeah,
Matrick
it's like 2
announced
days ago, I think.
he's leaving Microsoft
That's
to go to
surprising.
Zynga.
Is it really?
Well, I mean, maybe not with what's going on, but
Well, for me,
I mean, it's not that surprising for him, but it's just kind of just like, oh, all right, see ya.
I think it's more
anyone going to Zynga is surprising to me.
Yeah,
That's
that-
the
yeah,
surprising
that's
part
true,
to me
too.
that he's going to Zynga. Well, I guess if a company's in trouble
It's like-
and they've laid off people a bunch lately, that's where an executive can make the most amount of impact, right?
I guess.
Yeah,
I
it still
guess.
takes balls though to be like, oh, that chip's burning down. I'm gonna go over there.
Yeah, but if you look at taking over and launching a new console at Microsoft, right? It's kind of like if it goes great, everyone's like, well, of course it went well. You're fucking at Xbox, you
Yeah.
know? Everyone's going to buy an Xbox. But then if it doesn't go well, which, by the way, not going so well,
Yeah.
then it makes you look like a big fucking turd
Yeah.
as an executive. No offense, Don Matrick. We
You heard
appreciate
it first.
we appreciate your service. Yeah, but this is not unusual either for Xbox executives
No.
because Peter Moore.
Peter Moore, and before him, Seamus Blackley,
Yeah?
like on the original Xbox.
But where did Seamus Blackley leave?
He was.
He went off to be a big Hollywood agent, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to go work at. I want to say UTA or something. No, not UTA.
CAA.
Yeah, I think it was.
I'll look it
one
up.
of the talent
don't know.
agencies.
I got this. I don't have my Razer laptop today. I've got my my Apple laptop. Not exactly
You can do some gaming on that.
my Air, my MacBook Air. Apple has made a lot of progress in gaming, thanks to Steam mainly. But yeah, the MacBook Air is not their gaming platform.
not at
So
all.
You got Tetris on there?
no, I get the
get that
puzzle,
going.
the Apple
You
puzzle.
could probably
game.
play some Peggle. Oh, I forgot about the Apple puzzle.
That was
Still
in
love that
your
game.
famous Apple ad
Apple
that
Switch
we
parody,
did. Yeah, the
yeah.
very first one we ever did. So what did Seamus Blackley leave to do? But Peter Moore, he left after. I look up Seamus Blackley CAA, and it's him. It's Creative Artists Agency, one of the biggest agencies in Hollywood, and it's a news article of him leaving CAA in 2011. So he's since moved on from there. But yeah, Peter Moore's the one I remember because Peter Moore was presiding over the last kind of big Xbox PR nightmare, which was the Red Ring of Death. And it was right after they realized the full amount of the extended warranties was going to cost the company $1 billion. And then so Peter Moore left, and he went to go head up EA Sports. And I believe he's still there.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not unusual for when there's a big cavalcade in the Xbox world that there's a shakeup at the executive level.
Right.
In
Well,
fact,
there's-
Shane Kim's in the middle there. Nobody really He was like interim between Peter Moore and Don Matrick.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about
Let me
that.
see what Shane Kim was. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. He might have been Microsoft Game Studios.
How many Xboxes did you go through? Like originals?
360s?
Yeah.
Or-
Like the white ones. Original 360s with the red rings.
I had one, and then I replaced it with an Elite, and then I replaced it with
Man,
the
I forgot
S.
about that Elite. That Elite.
And that was I think I've never personally had a red ring.
You've never personally had a red ring.
No, I've had plenty here at the office.
I have.
But,
I don't think I ever had any red rings. I had like the drive failures or whatever where they couldn't read the disc, but I kept buying the warranties. I had 4 originals, then I bought an Elite, and then I got the Slim.
Yeah,
So I bought 6.
I think my original 360 was on its way out. It was about to start red ringing, like right when the Elites came out. I was like, oh, thank God, I got my Elite just in time.
That was my 4th one. I was like, I don't need number 5. Then I bought the Elite.
Yeah, but I lucked out. Because I see how many other people go through, and I did not have
That's
to
kind
deal
of
with
what I
that.
wanted to do now with the newest one, the Xbox One style. I think it's called the E, like the Xbox 360
Have
E.
you seen that in the store anywhere?
I didn't see it in the store.
What do you mean?
I went looking for it a few days right after it came out, but I heard it was coming out like a week after.
The new 360 SKU that looks like the Xbox One?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that. No.
No,
Oh, yeah, they announced it.
And they said it was available at the time of the press
Yeah,
conference.
that was bullshit.
For RTX, I had to buy some 360s, so I was like, great, I'm going to buy the new ones. I went down to Best Buy, none of the new ones.
When did you go?
This Friday, like 4
Oh, wow,
days ago.
just recently?
And then,
Yeah,
so then I was
wow.
like, wait, well, they don't have any here. I'm going to go down to GameStop. None.
I looked for them for like 3 or 4 days, because under that same logic, I was like, the one's coming out. I've had my Slim since the Slim came out. It still works, but I'm like, I'll get one more to ride out the 360, and then I'll have the one. And I was like all fired up to get it for like 3 days, and then like as the days went by, I'm like, I don't know if I should spend the money. And then it was like a week later, I couldn't find it. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it's amazing those impulse buys. Like, you've had every kind of console that's been out for the 360,
Yeah.
would you say?
Yeah, I've had all 3 versions.
Yeah, so have I. I've had the white one that launched, then I had the Elite, the black one. And in fact, remember I used to hunt up trying to find a black chat pad. Remember for years?
I'm dying.
Yeah. I tried to find a black chat pad for years, and I couldn't. And then they finally introduced them after the black consoles were the main console. Then I got a white one. There's a Slim that's white. It's a kind of a rare Slim.
I haven't seen them.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I have it's a white Xbox 360 Slim. I have one in my bedroom, which is all white, and so I have a white controller. And I tried to find a white chat pad. Then I couldn't find a fucking white chat pad. And I had to go out and hunt one up. And in fact, the one I have is kind of yellow because it's been a little bit older. It's been around for a while.
That's really funny.
That
Yeah.
always bothered me with the special controllers, like the green Halo controllers.
Right.
That I didn't have a green battery. Like just being an asshole, I'm just like, it doesn't match.
No, I
That
know.
always bothered me.
Well, I always felt like that about the 360 Elites when they came out. They were all black. And then I had a memory card that I used before the USB sticks, the memory card.
Yep.
They never made those in black. They were white.
Yep.
So look at this tooth like, sticking out of the face. Like it's one. It was just awful. And it's like I used to complain about it all the time. People would offer to even paint them for me and stuff like that. But eventually they went to USB sticks and it didn't matter.
Yep.
That's probably why it took them so long to even say anything about it, because they were rolling out that whole USB thing. But I've always had kind of borderline fetish, if you will, for different 360 controllers. I think I've probably owned about 30 or 40
Oh, just, like,
360
different
controllers.
styles?
Yeah, I had like specific ones to GameStop. Like there's a red and black one that had a red stick and a black stick. I even had a pair of the Tron ones when Tron came out, Tron Legacy.
I didn't know they had controllers.
Yeah, they were wired. They're the only good third-party controllers I've ever run into. The Disney ones that were made, I should say, and the Razer Onza one, which you can dial
those
the
are good.
sensitivity.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that no third-party controllers, not even Razer, makes wireless ones because they won't
Yeah.
license that technology.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
Not that the 360 controller needs any improvement on it, but Razer's like a high-end company that does that.
It is cool because on the Razors too, they have those extra buttons. There's 2 extra programmable buttons.
You use that stuff?
I use it sometimes just because it's just convenient sometimes, like just to double put a button somewhere. Like
Yeah.
you can't make new things with it because like the game doesn't allow you, but like you can put the A button also on a bumper. So if you use the A button a lot and your fingers are near the top,
Somebody
it
like
depends on the game.
somebody back on Reddit talked about games even going back to the early consoles, and early PC games. It was pretty standard that you could just reconfigure every button however you
Yeah.
wanted. And now you just that feature set's just gone.
Or,
Yeah.
or all you can do is toggle and select between different
Different
programs.
types, yeah. Like
Yeah.
like Halo. It's just like
Halo's
this
classic,
setting or this
South
setting or
Pod.
this setting. Yeah.
Yeah, and all that stuff. And usually it's like you can get to like, not that I kind of like, it does kind of take away from the standardized benefits of being on a console is that you can pick up a controller.
Right,
Because
and know how to play it.
Ryan uses Green Thumb or Southpaw or some shit for his.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I went to pick up for Horse, I spent 2 rounds playing Horse where I couldn't reload.
Right. He plays everything on PC,
Yeah.
so I can't imagine what his controller.
And then that's also the
plays
worst when
like.
when you're in a multiplayer game. You're the asshole. It's like, wait, everyone pause. Hold on.
Yeah.
I got to invert.
Oh my God.
I
nobody
got to
cares.
choose
if
boxer.
It's not you do not care at all.
Yeah. So apparently I found it. The 360E is on Amazon and on GameStop.com. You can find them on their websites. I could not find it in the
Yeah.
store.
I will
Well,
say,
good, because now I don't want one.
what is the most exciting thing about that console to you?
I don't know. It was new, and I don't have one.
Okay.
And I was like, I want it.
You got the collector mode going on.
Yeah, and like I said, I told
There it is
myself,
right there.
I told myself like, oh, it'll be great because it'll be my last new one. But then I was just like, fuck, I just bought a fucking Xbox One and a PS4. I really need to buy another PS or Xbox 360.
No, yeah.
Yeah, quit living in the past.
Yeah.
An interim one. The thing I really like about it, if we can see the graphic again, the thing I really like about it is the eject button right there. Which I guess it's meant to be put upright based on the orientation of that eject button. But I love the fact that I would buy it just so I don't have to put up with the current 360 Slim's touch eject button that's
Yeah.
on the corner.
Yeah.
Fucking hit that
How long-
fucking thing all the time.
I guarantee that button has been hit more times by accident than it has been hit on purpose.
I hit that button all the time, and especially putting a fucking memory card in. Like if I have my Xbox 360 is at the bottom of my entertainment center, like in my living room. At work, it's easy because it's desk level and it's right in front of me, and you just push the USB in straight. But if I'm like leaning over, I'm trying to throw the USB in, I will fucking like all the time hit the power button when I'm
Right.
putting the USB into the little slot. I do it all the time, like an asshole.
Guarantee that eject button noise, that ding that it makes when you hear that noise, it's always followed by fuck.
I think
Every time.
when we did our podcast Let's Plays, that happened. It happened to Joel in Left 4 Dead 2, and happened to you in Mass Effect 3.
I don't know what it is. I'm drawn to that stupid eject button. So I would potentially get that for the 360 new one. E is that what it's
E.
called? Yeah, for the hard eject button. But while we're talking about this stuff too, they just announced. I don't know why it's such a big announcement. The Chrome series of controllers that Microsoft has. They have a gold Chrome Xbox controller coming out.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think that was a big selling point for the Star Wars edition
Yeah.
Xbox.
The
Yeah, the
C3PO
C3PO
controller.
one. Yeah.
Dude, that thing was expensive.
I didn't know about it. Jeff was telling me about it because he said he had one.
He
And
does?
Said it's,
Yeah.
He said it's pretty much the exact same thing except minus C3PO. He also said Millie lost it. And I was like, how do you lose a controller? He's like, I don't know.
Shit happens, dude.
Ask
Yeah,
a kid.
Yeah.
How do you lose a shoe? Yeah.
I want to say, and I'm totally working from memory here, I want to say that new on the shelf, that Star Wars Xbox edition was $450.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think you could only buy it in a Connect bundle. Like you
Yep.
couldn't buy it on its own, and there was a price premium on it.
And it was like it was kind of backwards in my opinion. The console looked like R2-D2, and the controller looked like C-3PO.
Yeah.
But you think that would be the other way around
the
because the
Kinect
console's
sen-
bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Kinect sensor was white, if I recall properly.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So now there's a gold controller out there that you can just buy separately. I think
You
it
can
retails.
paint on your own C3PO.
Honestly, do different color controllers excite you or make you happy?
Dude, I love them. I love them. We were just talking about that.
Yeah,
where
you said that
I got
you
the
obsessed
Tron
about 'em.
ones they were corded, but they had like the lights running down through them, and they sold the blue one in retail, and they only sold 500 of the red ones, and I had to mail away for it, like a 12-year-old kid.
Like, did you collect cereal top
Yeah, I
boxes?
did.
And,
I had
and
proof of
fucking mail 'em off?
purchases.
It's like, I don't care. Like, when I'm playing the game, I don't look at my controller. Like, I've got it in my hand, and it's like, I just focus on the game. Like
Yeah.
this, I don't care what color that is. It could be pink for all I care.
I like cool designs. I'm not really that big on like a color, if it's red or blue or whatever. If it's like a actual like artwork and stuff, like some of the I think they were Todd McFarlane, the Halo 3 ones.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
some
those.
of those they're pretty cool. But it's also an excuse for me to get new controllers because I love playing on a new controller because the little buttons on the
Yeah.
analog sticks are all like super like
little
raised
nubbins.
and they're not. Oh, dude, I kill those nubs in like a few weeks
What's-
of
do you
playing.
really?
Oh yeah, I grind
I've
them out.
never done that.
I do it in like a week.
On my
Really?
Yeah.
first
None
I
of my
always
controllers
hear,
have
that
those.
people do that.
my first controller I got with my Elite, I did that. I wore all the rubber off, like down to the material under it.
I don't know if it also makes a difference too. I sweat like crazy when I play. Just my hands. When I play video games, even if it's not like intense or anything.
Clench it like this?
I
Is
don't
that
really
what you're doing?
clench it too much, but
Yeah.
my hands get super sweaty.
I feel guilty handing anyone a controller after I've been
Yeah.
playing it because it's just like damp, and I'm like, hold on. Like have to wipe
I'm the
my hands
same way.
down and wipe the controller like here.
Even
I'm
if
the
it's
same
not
way.
damp, the warmth from the human body, it's like you
It's-
don't want to experience anyone else's
It's,
warmth.
it's okay when you sit in a chair that someone's been sitting in because your pants are on and it's like someone's butt warmed the seat. But I see what you're saying. If you touch it with your hands, it's like the pants aren't protecting me.
It's
I'm
too
like
much.
touching a human.
It's a transference of bacteria. I don't know how
like-
they did this, but with this controller here, they wore out the nubs on the left analog stick, but the ones on the right analog stick are still okay. They feel like new.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's just they clench, man.
Somebody didn't aim very well.
It all depends on
Just
what
walked around a lot.
You can also see this is it looks like CSI for controllers here. You can also see there's some like residue in here, like they were jamming on this thing a lot harder than they were anything else. Things been like that.
Thing with you talk about residue, man. The N64 controllers, like whatever they were made of, it would look like a mound of cocaine in the controller, like from just playing with the stick. Because like the 360 and the PS3 and all the new ones, they're like super rubbery and like soft. The Nintendo 64 stick is just like a solid piece of plastic. Like someone took like a stone and whittled it into a stick, and that thing just like chisels plastic as you use it.
They used to ship a Mario Party
It was the first Mario Party.
with a glove.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't dig a hole in your
Yup,
hand.
because I did that.
Well, the first
that
one-
was right for me.
When they first shipped that game, there was no glove.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
subsequent shipments had the glove. It's like the Wii. When the Wii first came out, it didn't have that
The little
fucking stupid
sleeves.
sleeve
Yeah.
for the nunchuck, but then it did. In
And then
subsequent
everyone
releases.
broke their TVs.
I know people that broke their TVs. Yeah, people in my neighborhood broke their TVs.
They probably deserved it.
The thing with
That's so stupid.
with Mario Party was, especially the first one, there was a shitload of mini games in the game that required you to spin the stick clockwise or counterclockwise, and you just can't do it that fast with your thumb, especially because the stick's so tiny and your thumb would just fall off. So you just like put your hand on top of it right in the
jam
center,
it.
and you just spin your whole palm clockwise, and it just tears up your.
The funny thing to me is I never considered using my thumb for those mini games.
Oh,
Like even
yeah,
the
really?
first time I played it, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like I instantly go for the palm.
There's something like that now where I was doing. Was it in a? There's something had a rotating. Is in Last of Us, and it took me back. When you go to crank up the gates, you had to rotate to do it. And I thought, wow, I haven't done this in a long time. Like rotated the stick to do that kind of stuff.
I found that kind of annoying.
You did?
Yeah.
You only do it
You
like
only do it like 3
maybe
times?
like 2 or 3 times in the whole game.
There's a little mechanic in Last of Us which doesn't come up very often, which is when you're holding the 6-axis controller and you have your flashlight out, and your flashlight will die, and you have to like hit the controller against your hand like a flashlight with batteries.
It took me a couple of times for that to happen for me to realize what was going on.
I didn't know-
The first time it showed me shaking the shake controller icon, I was like, okay, what am I doing?
I thought the first time it happened, I thought my battery was dying on my controller, and I thought the battery was dying in the flashlight, and I was just like, oh, they're telling me to change my battery. So for the first 2 times that happened, I literally got up and plugged my controller in.
That's too funny,
yeah,
dude.
and then like the 3rd time I'm playing, and then I saw the little controller shaking, I'm like, and then it went away, and my flashlight came on. I was like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. I thought my battery was dying. Like I told people about it, like, oh, dude, in the game, when your flashlight's dying, the fucking when your controller's dying, the flashlight goes out, and they're like, oh my god, like that's crazy.
I was
not
gonna say,
true, actually.
You had a clean getaway. You
Yeah.
didn't even have to tell us that
Yeah.
story. But apparently, I guess you'd already told people that before, and they're like, don't tell him.
That's really funny.
Let him keep talking about it.
Man, I played a ton of Last of Us multiplayer over the weekend.
You tell me about it. I haven't
Yeah,
played
did
it.
you really?
Have you played any yet?
I haven't played
Have you?
multiplayer yet.
No.
It's good. I understand it a lot more now. It's really addictive.
They did an update for Last of Us. You know what the update they did was?
What?
They erased the 800 numbers that were on the bulletin boards,
Oh.
which went to a real-life phone sex line if you dialed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Apparently, in movies, they use the 555. You know,
Right.
like, what's your number? 555-1212. Apparently, that doesn't apply to 800 numbers.
Right.
And so they just put a number
Did
in
they
there.
not try it?
Yeah, see, you know
They
what?
probably thought it was just a fake number. Like
Yeah, but I
you-
mean, how much work is it? Let me
You
call
wouldn't
this
try
number.
like a 555 number. You'd be like, oh, that's the designation for fake phone number. That's what I'm sure that's what they thought.
Yeah, but 1-800 is real.
Yeah.
No, but Gus, trust me, if we ever put anything in a video, we always test it and make sure it works or doesn't work. You know what I mean? We always do that. Like we had when we would make videos for Halo back in the day for like Bungie or Microsoft, if we like mentioned a joke URL, we would register that URL.
Yeah.
Just because we didn't want to have a URL in our video
Right.
and
now
then somebody
someone
else could,
has
yeah.
to put whatever they want.
Yeah, and so we'd always be real careful to do that stuff. Did you hear the flap too about Wii U and their Nintendo and their URL
No.
court case? So Nintendo just lost a case to get WiiU.com from a guy who had a cyber squatter who had gotten the domain name and was holding on to it. And I can't believe they call this guy a cyber squatter. The domain was registered January 13th, 2004.
So before the Wii.
Before
So
the
like
Wii.
2 years after the GameCube.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like whoever did this was way ahead of the curve. Yeah, but they didn't get it. Nintendo did not get it. They were denied the claim. And in fact, Xbox right now has a similar claim from a guy who registered Xbox1.com, and he's had that registered since December of 2011. Which go figure, I mean,
wow.
maybe he had an Xbox One like retro site, and now who knew they were going to name the Xbox
Yeah.
Xbox One?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But I went to WiiU.com. It is
Yeah,
now
so
a
that's what I'm
park
looking
page,
at. Yeah.
and it goes to searches for Wii games and Wii.
Online college university.
Oh.
It's funny. So in related
College
searches on here,
university.
in related searches here, they
Twice
don't have
the
Wii U. They have
knowledge.
Wii 2, which I've never. It's weird.
the sequel?
Are people still searching for the Wii 2? Is
I
that
don't
what
know.
some people are referring to the Wii U as?
Honestly, I wonder how many people, like, with PS4 and Xbox One coming out, are just like, I wonder if there's a Wii 2.
He registered a domain name back in the day and sold it for a bunch of money.
Yeah, long time ago.
I think you mentioned
Yeah, when Final Fantasy VIII came out, I registered ffxii.com.
FFX.
Oh no, ffxi.com. Final Fantasy 11.
Final Fantasy 11 when Final Fantasy 9 came out.
8.
8. You were way ahead of the
Final
curve.
Fantasy 11
Well, like,
was their MMO, too.
Yeah, it
It's
wasn't.
funny.
Like, I looked, they had Square registered 9, they had registered 10. I think they'd even registered 12, but 11 was just like not taken. I was like, oh, all right, I'll grab that one.
So you took it and then you had it for how
Fuck,
many
dropped
years?
the ball on that one.
Like a year and a half or 2
You
years.
ended up selling it, right?
Yeah, sold it for a couple thousand.
Yeah, we knew
Jesus.
somebody who sold a domain name for bought it for 3,000 and sold it for like low 100,000s back in the day. He was just smart, he just saw it.
That's a
do
lot
that.
of
You
money to
can't
pay
do
for
that
a name,
anymore. I
man.
don't think so. It's like every domain is taken. No matter what you can think of, it's taken.
Well, I remember it was in the.
Besides Xbox One.
Yeah, even that's taken.
There was
Yeah.
a point when every 3- and 4-letter domain name combination was taken at one point.
Yeah.
We had a chance to buy RVB.com. Remember, once back in the day, there was even a chance to buy RT.com, which then became Russian Today.
Yeah.
Or Russia Today, or whatever that is. So we looked at both those, but the RT one was ridiculously expensive, and RVB.com I think was $25,000, and we
Yeah.
just couldn't justify.
You know what?
Paying.
I think we made the right decision.
But $25,000, come on, get out of here for that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
so
imagine if we had bought the RT.com domain, Russia Today would not exist or have a different name.
I guess so.
Like I picture that little green thumbnail with the RT black letters in it whenever I think of that website.
It was weird because when I first got on Twitter as well, RT always threw me off when I saw it. I was like, what?
Yeah, same thing. It confused the hell out of me.
Yeah, and then we had a thing where we automated our journals on the site. When you posted, it would automatically go to Twitter if you tied your account in. And I remember we had a hashtag that was like tied into some Brazilian thing, some Portuguese thing.
Oh, right.
It was similar, and so all of our stuff was mixed up with all this Portuguese stuff.
forgot about that.
We finally
Yeah,
had to
that's
change
crazy.
it. Yeah, it was driving everybody crazy. But in addition to the Gold controller, there's been some announcements by both Xbox and by PlayStation. They're both about to go into one of their big games sales. In fact, by the time this airs, they will have already started for PlayStation, and then Xbox is going to start next week. You want to hear some titles on the Xbox Ultimate Game Sale?
Sure.
Okay.
I guess.
There's a lot. So they did this a couple of months ago, and it was interesting when the Xbox One came up with their whole always online, and people would draw these comparisons between what the Xbox One is proposing and what everyone has right now in the PC environment with Steam. The first argument everyone made was, yeah, well, Xbox doesn't have sales like Steam does, but they just finished a massive sale.
Also, you can't have the sales until you have the infrastructure for it. Steam didn't have sales before Steam existed.
That's true. Well, don't forget how much people hated Steam when it first
Oh,
came
yeah,
out.
absolutely.
Remember all the animated GIFs of like the gears going up the guy's butt? It was just like everyone hated Steam because it was forced. You had to install it to play Half-Life 2. Like Half-Life 2 was almost like a Steam delivery mechanism, and just like it forced everyone to install it, and everyone was so fucking pissed about it.
Yeah.
Am I remembering that right? Yeah.
I was anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, everyone's like, what's this shit?
I was like, yeah, what do I have to install? It's like people get upset now, like I have to install Origin to install these EA games.
Yeah, it's like, but we all love Steam for already having done it a few years ago. But okay, so here's what's on the list for Microsoft for the Ultimate Game Sale, which is coming up next week. Assassin's Creed 3, BioShock Infinite is already going on sale. Borderlands 2, Brothers in Arms, Bulletstorm, Red Alert 3, Crisis 3. I'm gonna skip a couple titles here. Far Cry 3, that's a great one.
Good game.
Forza, Gears Judgment.
Great game. It's
pretty fun.
Hitman Absolution, Connect Sports 2. Sign me up. Left 4 Dead 2 is up again. I would recommend it just because I always
How much are they selling that for?
play Left 4 Dead. They don't have prices on here. They
Who
don't have-
hasn't played Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2 by now?
You know what? Left 4 Dead is, to me, a great digital thing to have because you just keep it on the hard drive, and that's my go-to game. I always go back and play Left 4 Dead 2. I don't know why. I always do. Then some Lego titles, including Lord of the Rings, which is great.
That game is
It's
huge.
fucking huge. The original Mass Effect, but not 2 and 3, or it might be the trilogy, and they just don't have it
Get you
listed here.
rehooked.
Yeah, really. Did you play the original Mass Effect?
Yeah, of course I did.
I
What do
don't
you mean,
like
of
it.
course you did.
You know, I talked about it forever.
Okay, well, I can't remember everything.
It's like a fucking year of my life.
We've been working together in this thing for how long have we been doing the podcast now? 4 years?
2 decades?
Fuck that noise, dude. Yeah, I'm not gonna remember everything you said. I don't remember what I've said. Perfect Dark Zero is going on sale. So
Wow.
if you missed out on Perfect Dark Zero,
Oh, boy.
now's your chance. And then some XCOM is coming out. XCOM recently just released for
iOS?
iPad.
Yeah.
And I hear it's great.
I hear it's the exact same game, just adapted to touch control,
That's-
which is good. It's not a Twitch game. You know, all you need. In fact, I bet it's better with touch control than it is with the controller.
You think so?
It probably is. I haven't played it yet.
I played
I
that.
want-
That guy, do that.
I want to play that game again. I might get it for our trip to Australia.
Oh, really?
And just play it on the plane.
I played it on Steam. That's how I played it. I didn't play it on console.
The graphics, it looks really good on the PC.
It looks
like
good.
it looks good on the console, but yeah, it looks so much better on the PC.
And before we get off Xbox here, I had to point out that Doodle Jump is now out for the Kinect.
How do you play Doodle Jump on the Kinect?
I don't know. I think they have
hell
a
is
video
Doodle Jump?
for us of like the trailer of Doodle Jump Connect.
It's like
So
the
we can see
little
it. I'm
guy, the
curious,
little
too.
alien that jumps, and you have to like twist your iOS device.
It was a
and you, like,
super popular iOS game back
It's
in
like
the day.
one
Here
of
it
the-
is. Then there's a dude playing it in the bottom left. I think it's just the left-right.
you just like tilt your body.
So you are the doodle.
You
No,
are
you're the
Doodle.
jump.
You're both.
It looks remarkably different.
Yeah, I'd rather play it mobile.
So, Michael, the way this game worked was you had a guy, if he jumped, you're not controlling when he jumps. Every time
Right.
he hits the ground, he jumps.
All right.
So, and he always goes up. And so you just try to get to the next platform, and you would tilt the iPhone. That's how you did it. I played it on an iPhone. And it was a great game, but I have to say, they ruined it with updates.
It was
because
constantly updating.
They constantly updated it, and they constantly started adding new stuff in that really, in my opinion, broke the core of the game. And
Like-
it was like they added like jetpacks and springs and shoes.
Yeah, it was just a simple game.
Very
and
simple.
you should have just like gone for the most basic level to compete against your friends.
Yep.
Like once you start adding these randomization features in, I don't know why we're still showing this. Once you start adding this randomization features in, it just becomes like chaos.
Yeah, but it was Gavin and I used to play it, I think back when he was directing season 7 of Red vs. Blue, and he'd get like up to 35,000. An animator too was playing it, and I'd be like, what the fuck? I go, how do you get 35,000? And I would sit there and play all day, get to 36,000. I'd be like, thank God, this is points, you know, how high you get. And then they add in like boss monsters and stuff like that, and it was just like, then after a while, it was just like our scores didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So it's like the thing that was driving everyone to play it, at least the people I knew, which was competition on the leaderboard, suddenly they made it irrelevant.
Yeah, and then that was even pre-Game Center. That was just like leaderboards for that game.
Hate Game Center.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I hate it. I mean, I get why they're doing it, but I hate it.
I feel like it's slow, and anytime I see that Game Center logo like pop
The
up,
the
like
banner?
welcome back, I'm like, fuck you.
I've looked for the ways to turn that off 1,000 times, and I can't figure out how to turn it off. You know what Game Center is?
No.
Oh, it's like the integrated all iOS games.
Okay.
It's like the way you tie all their games in because they're different developers.
It's like
and
their
publishers.
leaderboards and achievements and everything.
Yeah, it's like their XBL.
It's like, and there's no standardization between achievements or anything, so it's like, this doesn't mean anything.
Right.
We should make our own game released on iOS that gives you 1 million achievement points for like doing the easiest thing. You're like, look,
That'd be pretty fucking fun.
I've got a really high score.
Oh, it's like, new this week, Sorola at the top of the list. That'd be awesome. Yeah,
Fuck you. Fuck you.
my game that I always play, the Fog of the World game, when I like unlock parts of the map, it has Game Center integration. So every time I load it up and the banner that I want to see, which is my level in that game, it gets covered by Game Center. I'm just sitting there watching it, waiting for it to disappear every time. Like, it said, "Welcome back, Bernie." I'm like, "Thanks." Okay, get out of the way. Fuck, get out of the way. All right.
It's
I have
going to be
drive.
different in iOS 7, I think. They said they're going to revamp all of that stuff, the look on Game Center.
Well, I hope so. There's always the hope for that in any kind of digital environment. All right, let's talk about the PSN sale, too. They're going to sell a bunch of games. That starts July 2nd. Hopefully I can find out some of the titles that are going up here. Summer Blast runs July 2nd through 16, discounting over 30 games and extra savings for PS Plus members. Let's see if we can find out. Oh, they actually have some stuff on here. There's quite a few titles. Call of Duty Black Ops is on theirs. Some Mortal Kombat titles. Prince of Persia, Amazing Spider-Man, Star Trek. I never played Star Trek.
Star Trek?
The Hitman trilogy.
Which Star Trek?
There's a Star Trek game that just came out. Like,
Really?
But it's like I want to say it's like a prequel to the Into Darkness.
Really?
Yeah. Which we never talked about that. We'll talk about that on the podcast. But
Yeah.
people didn't like that. I liked it just fine.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought the way they, we'll talk about it
Yeah.
in a podcast. But Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars Force Unleashed, The Adventures of Tintin, who knew that was a game, Fight Night Champion, Alice Madness Returns, Tron Evolution, which you can play with your controller, and X-Men, some other titles. So they got stuff going down as far as $9.
That's pretty
Oh,
good.
no, wait. With PlayStation Plus, it goes all the way down to $4.89.
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, some of these games.
I like the fact that you can go. I mean, I guess because I'm finally at the point where like games that were brand new are now like really old for me, where like they're classics. You know, I have games that I played new that are like 15 years old. I like going on Xbox Live or PlayStation Store is really good for just getting like a crap load of old like PlayStation or PlayStation 2 games that were just some of my favorite games ever, and it's like a whole game, you know, for hours and hours or whatever, like how many weeks of play. And it's like, oh, that was $3.
Yeah.
It was $7.
My favorite for that, and as much as I rag on the Wii, my favorite for that was the Wii Virtual Console. Because they had
Yeah.
so many old
Shitloads
NES
of
titles.
NES
And
and SNES
and they were
games.
cheap. It was like just a
Yeah.
couple bucks. Like,
I think-
I'm only going to play this for 45 minutes, but I'll spend $4 on
I
it.
think Nintendo games are $5.
Yeah.
That to me, that is right there is how you solve the issue of backwards compatibility. You put it in the store, you make it available, and you just make it cheap, so the people that want that nostalgia fix can just go and do
Yeah.
it. And it's like no one ever complains because the Wii doesn't have a goddamn cartridge slot on the back of it to put in N64 cartridges.
Right.
But they have Mario Kart 64,
Yep.
you know, in the e-store, and that's very cool.
They have really good games in the Wii store. They have a lot of like their amazing classic titles.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate though because back in those licensing days, a lot of the ones they have for the NES are first-party titles, and the best Nintendo titles are the first-party ones like Mario and Zelda and Metroid and all that. But in the NES days, the original NES, there were some good third-party titles like some SNK games and things like that. I mean,
Hudson Soft.
yeah, I played Baseball Stars, which was I love that.
My
game,
favorite
dude.
was RBI Baseball.
Oh no, that is
Tengen.
Tengen, yeah, yeah, but that'd be an example. So it's harder for them to get that in the e-store.
Well, yeah, also some of those cartridges were made illegally, like without the
Yeah.
Nintendo approval process.
Illegally.
Yeah, like Nintendo
You
had
could just make a game and it would work.
Yeah, like Nintendo had like an authentication chip for the old NES that you could only get through them, but it was cracked, and people like Tengen specifically would make games. That's why the Tengen cartridges were black and had that beveled edge on the outside. They looked different than NES cartridges.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that was
What
somehow,
they call it, I think they called it like the NES 10 chip or something like that, like NES 1.0.
and that was the Nintendo quality seal of
Right.
approval.
That's
and
why
that's
they
why
had those-
Tengen games did not have the quality seal of approval.
That's why they had those. They had like those porno games, like crap loads of those. Actually, I don't know if they had any on Nintendo. I'm not quite sure. Maybe that was Atari.
I
They've
never-
had
I-
those, yeah.
I know
since,
Atari,
like,
I never
going
saw
back
any
in the day,
on
yeah.
Nintendo.
But I mean, like Atari, you know, when you go back and look at those titles too, it's like even when they put out like Atari Collection, you get some really good games, but then like Magic and Activision made some of the best games ever for that, and it's you know it gets all mixed up, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's really funny because Activision was like the first like they've been around all that time, you
Yeah.
know, and the Atari brand is still around, but it was bought by Infogrames.
And I think it's dead again.
Is it dead again?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Too
the
bad.
reason Activision is called Activision, I'm sure everyone knows, is so they were in the phone book before Atari.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
There was people who worked for Atari and who left to make their own game company, and they thought, let's come up with a name that'll put us in the phone book before Atari. So they came up with Activision.
Wow. That's
Wow,
funny.
really? In the
How's
phone book?
how's the phone book war
Why would
doing
you
now?
recall it? Like, hello,
you,
Atari?
You look up like video games in the yellow pages. You're like, no, there we are. Activision. Atari's down here, but Activision's above them.
It'd be great to work in that call center. It's like, hello, Atari? Yeah, I want to play Pac-Man. And the guy in the call center is like, okay, waka, waka, waka.
Cherry.
It's so funny, too, because like, we talk about domain names and stuff like that, and Xbox and Nintendo going to court to get a domain name. But it's like, does a domain name even matter in this day and age anymore?
Especially when you're saying like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy for like how much good is that going to do?
Yeah, but it's like Activision, which is a company that exists to this day, they're named what they're named because of how they fall in the goddamn phone book. And it's like, who knew that within 15 years, no one was going to care what a phone book was?
Yeah.
They would get it and go, oh, this thing, and throw it away immediately.
That's one of my most popular tweets ever, is me taking a picture of me throwing away the phone book.
Yeah. The day they deliver it, we should just leave our recycling bins like on the front porch and say, just put the phone book in there.
Yeah, at least we have a recycling bin now. It makes it a lot easier. I just take it straight from the door, right into the bin. Like, don't even have to look at it.
I mean, and it just goes to show, too, having worked in online media for so long, the reason why they still deliver the phone book, even though nobody wants it, is because the people who make the phone book sell that, and they sell the fact that they're going to put this in everybody's home. Even though everybody takes it and chucks it, they don't really have a way to measure that.
Right.
Like, they can do surveys and all that horse shit, but you never know really who's going through and looking at the phone book.
They should do like a survey. They have the one dude drop it off, and then have another dude come by and like check all the garbage cans, right? Like a day later or later that day. Just like, all right, fuck, man.
Some random dude
I'd be
knocks on your
curious to see
door.
like what the numbers were. It's
Oh,
like,
it's
excuse
gotta
me, ma'am.
be.
You had a phone book on your front porch. Where is it? Oh, I threw that away. That's what
you.
I thought.
Fuck you. I'll shoot you. Some guy knocks on your door. Can I borrow your phone book? No. God damn it. But it's like it just goes to show like print media and traditional media, even like TV stuff, they can get an idea that like people are watching it or like and they give surveys of like how it's being consumed. But until the internet came along and started delivering ads, and you could see like, here's how many people we showed it to, here's how many people clicked it, here's how many people who clicked it after they clicked it, bought the product or bought related products, like all the way down through like, you know, and it gives them all your personal information too probably. But it's like up until then there was really no way besides like these fuzzy math surveys they would do about brand awareness and shit to figure out how advertising was working. So the phone book still exists, but it's a pain in the ass to get like something that's getting millions of views to get that monetized.
Let's get a Yellow Page ad for Rooster Teeth.
You want to do it?
We should absolutely do it.
I don't know, because then we're gonna be on a list forever of like they'll
We're
call
moving,
us.
we're moving buildings.
What's that?
They don't know our extensions.
That's a good point. They'll call us go. Like some sales guy working at the Yellow Page would be like, hey, remember last year when you got the quarter page ad? That must have really helped your fucking business.
People know where to go to find the funniest videos on the internet. The Yellow Pages.
You know what we should do? We should
Right
call
in
the
the
Yellow
R.
We should call the Yellow Page guy and say like, we want your rate sheet for what it's gonna cost to get like a premier Yellow Page slot. They'll be like, well, here's quarter page, and then here's like a half page. We say, we want the fucking cover. we want to be on the cover of the Yellow Pages.
We wanted to say like the Yellow Pages presented by Rooster Teeth, or the Rooster Teeth's Yellow Pages.
Do you know the difference between the white pages and the yellow pages? Do you know those?
White pages are people.
Well, but there's
Personal phone numbers.
There's also the white pages that had business listings in it that weren't the yellow pages. Like the yellow pages were listed by category, and then there was another phone book that was the business phone book. That was
I think I know what you're talking about, but I never ventured in that because my mother always. I had like this is back when phone books were actually used. The designated slot was like the huge yellow phone book with the yellow pages and the white pages, and then there was a small blue book that was just white pages.
Blue book is government listings.
Okay, maybe that was it then.
Well, the yellow pages were done by category, so you'd be like, oh, I want to like, and you'd have to put your business multiple places, like rental and then automobiles as well. If you were a
that's
rental
gonna
car
cost
company.
you.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah, that's how they got you.
That's how they fuck you.
Now you're in the system.
Oh,
now you're
boy.
fucked. But yeah, the white pages were white pages, and then there were white pages with like a black stripe on the side, and that's where you'd go through and look at businesses. How the fuck did we get on this topic? Anyway,
I'm trying to get outside of here. So
somebody call Atari.
I finally played and finished Mass Effect 3 Citadel over the weekend.
Yeah?
What a great ending to the Mass Effect franchise.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Fuck, you make me want to play it.
really a great send-off to the franchise.
Are you a Mass Effect gamer?
I didn't like Mass Effect. I played the first one. I liked the kind of game. I liked the whole atmosphere and all that. The only thing I didn't like about the first game was I just didn't like the combat. I just didn't like the level up system and how it worked. I just wasn't that much of a fan of it.
If it makes you feel any better, I really did not like the first game at all. The second and third games turned me around.
No, so I was like, hate Mass Effect, and then it's a thing where like you don't like something, you're like, oh, whatever. But then everybody just fucking talks about how much they love it, and then you just hate it even more. Like, nah, I fucking hate it. Fuck you. Your game sucks. You think it's fun? It's shit. So then the second one came out. I'm like,
Pleasant person.
Or like the commercial started airing. I'm like, fucking shit. I don't want it. And then it's like commercial after commercial after commercial. And this is like coming from someone who buys every fucking single game. It was like the one game, the one AAA game I wasn't gonna get. The day it comes out, I was like, not buying it. Fucking bought it the next day. I bought the second day it came out, and I loved the second one. I thought it was great. I've played the third one. I haven't beaten it.
It's amazing how like that franchise goes, especially from the first one down to the third one. How it's so time consuming and like you're just mired in minutia, and then they abstract it like over time. Like when you're in Mass Effect, the first game, and you have to like scan a planet for minerals or objects or objectives or anything like that, you get in a fucking car and you go down to the planet.
Yeah.
You drive
You drive
all over the
around.
planet, over
Yeah.
mountains and crap. And then it takes forever to do one planet. Then by the second one, you're like, man, scan that shit.
Yeah.
And then is there even
In
scanning?
the third one, you scan from orbit. Like you see your ship in the galaxy view, and you hit a button, and it scans planets quickly, and then it tells you if there's something there, and if there's nothing there, you just keep going.
That's right. Man,
keep flying around.
they really cut that down big time.
Yeah, which is good. And in fact, there was one of the first patches they released for Mass Effect 2 was to speed up the scanning of planets. Because
Really?
when it first came out, it was so fucking slow. And
Oh,
then
I
there
got-
was a patch.
I got my technique down on that.
Yeah.
Like I jam that trigger, that turbo trigger like that, and just click, 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 click.
I would go in like a sine wave.
Yep.
to try to maximize my coverage. I'd and try to hit as much surface area with as few pings as possible.
It is weird because you totally associate that franchise with like this epic storyline or whatever, but in between like chapters of that is like 14 hours of looking at a fucking planet rotating.
I need some more EZO,
yeah.
Element 0 or
baby, you're
Palladium or
full of
whatever.
it.
It's like fire a probe.
It's like, oh shit, I gotta go to the gas station and buy more probes. It's like, why do you go to like the same place you buy fuel is the same place you buy probes?
also-
It's like this guy out in the middle of space who's like, yep, it's gonna cost you
It is pretty nerdy.
100 credits a probe. It's like, oh, okay.
And then you're like staring at you're scanning the planet, but you're staring at the little graph, like of the different elements, and then you like get the peaks, and you get 2 peaks, and you're like, fuck yeah, planet, fuck you, I got 2 of your elements.
It's kind of like the whole thing of Avatar, and then it's just like from space. It's like, oh, fuck you, I just mined all your minerals. Like you're just ripping it out of the planet from outer space. Like I'm not even gonna go down to mine your oil or dig it out of your fucking planet.
Oh, you're talking about the movie?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about an Avatar. How the whole thing is like, oh, deforestation. They're taking our what was it called? The unobtainium. Oh no, Mass Effect. It's like, beep 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 beep. Thanks, bitch.
Yeah,
I'll
see ya.
steal your shit from space.
So yeah, give me that special tree. Yeah.
Oh, did your planet just die? It's
Who
like
knows?
crumbling. It's crumbling behind you as you
It's
fly
like,
away.
You mine the shit out of it, and then it gets to the point where it's like planet resources exhausted.
Yeah,
You're like,
it's like, see ya.
all right, I'm out of here. Like literally, that's
Yeah,
what it tells
yeah.
you. Depleted. Planet resources depleted. Like, all right, nothing can live there now.
You show up at a perfectly normal planet, you leave like an empty husk.
Maybe some guy's like in his house, just like, what the fuck? He's just looking outside. It's
Yeah,
like,
you-
my crops.
It doesn't even tell
Fucking
you.
sit there with a taco. His taco goes out. Like, I was eating that.
It doesn't even tell you if there's life on the planet. Like, you don't even care. It's like you care about 4 elements and that's it.
There really is no life scan in any way on it, is there?
No.
It's just like nothing. It's just like show up in orbit. Thanks for nothing, bitches.
If only your spaceship could give like a giant middle finger back to the planet as you flew away.
And so what is the Citadel? Where does this DLC take place? Is it like
So,
after the story? It can't be.
No. It's like it takes place before the end of the story. So it's wherever you are up until the end of the game. So like I finished the game already, so it's like I'm ready to do the final mission.
Okay.
And it's you have to take the Normandy in for repairs. So everyone gets mandatory shore leave. And
Oh, it's fucking party time.
yeah, but people are out to kill Shepard. And you have to
Oh,
figure out
shit. Ruin my party.
who.
If you ever want to know what it's like to get older, like the experience of getting older, it's exactly the same as like when DLC for a game comes out, and it's like you spent 150 hours playing Mass Effect 3 and like making all these choices and getting everything right. Then you get the DLC 6 months later, and you go back and you're standing on the bridge. You're like, what? You're like,
Where am I?
What is this map?
No idea
In
what's
order
happening.
to start the DLC, I had to they're like, you talk to Admiral Hackett. He's like, go to my apartment on the Citadel. I'm like, okay. So I pull up to the Citadel. I'm like, I walk out of the Normandy. I'm like, fuck. Okay, apartments. Map.
Somebody walk
None
in,
of this looks right.
Can I help you, Commander Shepard? Can I help you get to where you need to go?
I wandered all around. I was like, fuck, where are these apartments? I left on the Normandy, then came back and redocked. I was like, oh, when you dock, it's like apartments. It's a separate thing. You're like, okay, this makes sense.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, I have that experience all the time. Like I like what you're saying of it takes place when you're in the end game, but before you finish the game. That scares me. Like that's too complicated for me. I'm like, where was I and what was I doing? And I know I'm just going to end up in the CIC on the Normandy, and I'm just going to be completely lost.
That's exactly where we are. Like I logged in. I'm looking at the CIC, and trainer goes, "So message for you, Commander." Okay, messages. Oh yeah, over here. Okay, right here.
Here's how it worked for me. I would download the Citadel DLC. It would take me like 2 hours to download it. I would download it. I'd get my save, find that, load it up. I would see the thing on the screen, and I would end up playing the final mission, not remembering exactly how it went, finishing the whole thing going, oh wait, that was the end of the game, I just played again, and then I'd be, fuck it, then I would never play the DLC.
I think the Citadel was 4 gigabytes of DLC. It was 2
Holy
different
shit.
2 gig downloads.
Wow.
So you buy it, you download part 1, and then you download part 2.
Another reason why Mass Effect's a good franchise, why I like digital downloads, is it's 2 discs, and I don't have to swap. Like, I feel like I swapped way too much in Mass Effect 3. And I guess with even the Xbox is going to Blu-ray, so that'll probably be gone. You know, they won't have that
I
anymore.
don't know of any multi-disc PS3 games.
Yeah, I don't either.
But then again, when we started this generation, you know, it's like seemed impossible that we'd fill any of these discs.
Yeah,
So
but
now-
when the 360 and PS3 came out, it seemed like at the time you're like, well, why wouldn't you go with the higher capacity disc?
No, it
you're
makes
gonna
sense. Yeah.
you're gonna need it eventually.
God, I mean, Last of Us, one of the cool things, we talk about Last of Us a lot, but one of the cool things about it is that when you finish the game, you can go back and watch all the cinematics.
Oh yeah, you
Like
play them in order.
Yeah, just go and run, and you can play all and do that. That's great, because There's some company that just do cinematics amazingly
That
well.
game is just incredible.
Yeah, you finished it too?
Yeah, I beat it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Naughty Dog does great cinematics. It's what they're known for. They actually had a really cool machinima tool in Uncharted, which I was talking to some other guys about, and they were like, I don't even remember doing that, but it was like really intense cinematics.
It was great. You couldn't rewind though.
Yeah, you couldn't rewind. It's always a weird thing with machinima, to use something for machinima. It's like if you're missing one or two things, it kind of breaks the whole thing. But they do it well. I still think the best cinematics in the entire industry are Blizzard.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff they put out is always amazing. And now, I gotta admit, 343 has really stepped up. They use companies like Blur, and then, I'm gonna forget the name of the company. Axis?
I think it's Axis.
They did the Terminal videos starting in Halo Anniversary. I was really impressed. I don't really associate the Halo franchise as being one that has like over-the-top cinematics, but it was awesome.
The cinematics in Halo 4 were really good, I thought. Like at the very beginning, when you see Halsey for the first time, at the very start of Halo 4, I was like, whoa.
It's way different than most Halo games.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, that looks great.
Although that they did have that for Halo 3, they had the Starry Night commercial, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But I think Digital Domain did that
Digital
one.
Domain did that.
Yeah.
Which is
runs-
James
Was that with the kid
Yeah,
in the field?
And the chief runs to the desert and all that stuff, picks up his helmet.
Well, that's Digital Domain. It's James Cameron's company.
Oh,
visual
really?
Effects. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I should know that, but I didn't.
So it makes sense that it'd be high quality. Shit, I was about to say. So
My laptop died, so I'm gonna switch to my phone. People always criticize me when I have my phone out during the podcast. I'm just looking at notes that I took.
yeah, looking
It's
at
a feature phone.
tweets and it's like totally interacting with people who are watching.
Yeah, I'm just
and
like- I'm
getting
like-
stuff.
Messaging my girlfriend.
Hey,
I guess they
asshole,
think-
stop looking
Yeah.
at my tweets.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
We announced that Assassin's Creed 4 is going to be playable.
Oh,
Assassin's
we
Creed
did- we
4
announced that?
Multiplayer is going to be playable at RTX.
And that starts the day after tomorrow when this airs.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be July 5th. That
July
starts.
5th to 7th.
So soon.
We're going to have a bunch of stations set up in the Achievement Hunter Lounge, and we're going to have some live Let's Plays on the stage with the
Yeah.
Achievement
Oh my
Hunter
God,
guys.
that's gonna be. You guys are gonna have a blast with that.
I'm
So-
excited. We've done a couple Assassin's Creed Let's Plays.
What is your favorite thing that you've done Let's Plays in for Achievement Hunter? Minecraft is by far your most popular.
I mean, it's the bread and butter. GTA is amazing, especially like because we just started doing those maybe like 7-8 weeks ago. I'm not sure how long we've been doing those. The first bunch of
you
videos.
guys playing.
The first bunch of videos are no planning whatsoever. It's like, let's put in GTA. And then
Right.
we got like, we've probably made a 10 or a dozen videos at least just from like, oh, let's play it. And then it's like, okay, now what ideas can we come up with? So
Right.
now it's like being zany with
Yeah,
it
you
or
talk
whatever.
about like setups and having to work to get a Let's Play together. I still remember the first time Jeff and Gavin showed me the Plan G map before they had unleashed on you guys, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, how long did it take you to do this?
And that was also before they had creative mode.
Yep,
Yeah.
On the
yep. They had to
360 one.
fucking dupe all the dynamite because it's like
Crazy.
virtually impossible for them before creative mode to get that much dynamite. I mean, this is like impossible in the game. But yeah, I think they said Achievement City, which they like built the whole point of Achievement City was for the Plan G joke. I think that took them like 15, 20 hours.
I believe it.
But Lindsay's been building something that I think we're going to use in a Let's Play soon for Minecraft. And she's been using the games that we have, the games consoles. And
Games.
I've been playing that, I brought it home and she's been using that. She, without exaggeration, has probably put close to like 60, 70 hours into one
Holy
fucking map.
cow,
I believe it.
really?
Like, just I lost her to Minecraft for like 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
that's finally done, but.
Oh, it's done. The last time I saw it, it was like 75% done.
Yeah, I think she finished what it's done. I've never still seen the whole thing because the other thing about the Let's Plays is a lot of them, they're reveals to everyone except for Gavin and Jeff because we never see them.
Right.
You know, we kind of want to capture that in the video. So like I've not been watching, like I've seen it. I know it's some ridiculous thing she's building, but I don't even know the specifics of it. But it's funny because she's showing it to people and everyone's like, oh yeah, Lindsay's making that thing. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what it is. And they're like, oh, how do you not know? It's like, I don't know. She just goes over there and I don't see her for a while.
Yeah.
They'll see tomorrow.
We do that with the podcast sometimes where it's like where we go to talk about something. It's like, hey, let's wait till the podcast to talk about this.
Yeah.
Like you and I will go have a discussion about something. And a tie-in to you, there's a big recent event for another game that you played. That's one of your popular videos. For Rage Quit, you and Gavin always play, not always, but you play Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious videos. And did you hear the flap about that this
Yeah,
week?
people thought that it was like a Half-Life 3 alternate reality game.
I don't understand that. People think, I was saying this to Bernie, people think everything is Half-Life
Yeah,
3.
like there
it's like,
was-
fucking Christ, just wait for them to announce the game.
The same time as the Surgeon Simulator thing happened, there was a joke on the back of a PC Gamer magazine.
Uh-huh.
Do you see that?
No.
Where it's like, it looked like elevator buttons with like different floors, and like floor 13 said Half-Life 3 and was crossed out, something else was written there. And everyone's like, oh my god, that means Half-Life 3 is going to be announced next
Boosh,
month in
got
PC
it.
Gamer. It's like, it's obviously like a joke. They wrote it and crossed it out. It's on floor 13. Like,
Right. Guys, it's amazing the people's anticipation for that. I gotta say
I
though,
hope it's good.
what's good?
Half-Life 3?
Yeah. So we're now at the point. I hate to say it, but like Half-Life 3 has now taken over for the void that got filled by Duke Nukem Forever being made.
what year did Half-Life 2 come out in? Was it 04?
Yeah, it's as old as Steam, right? So yeah, I'd probably say 2004.
I'll look it up.
I know for sure it was in the 2000s. Half-Life was in the 1900s, as weird as that sounds.
Half-Life
Yeah.
was 98.
Half-Life was 98, and so
Yeah.
Half-Life 2 is probably 2004. But yeah, it's people were really excited about Duke Nukem Forever. I mean, they would like have their pre-order slips, and everyone thought it was gonna be the greatest
Yep.
game ever. And I was like, did you guys really like the first Duke Nukem that much?
Yeah, like
And people were just like latching onto it.
here's like Duke Nukem came out. I never gave I played Duke Nukem back on DOS. Okay, never gave a shit about the new one coming out. Right? It finally came out. Like, oh look, it's coming out. And people are like losing their minds over it, and then everyone's like, oh, it's a fucking piece of shit. I hate it. Not giving a shit, not caring about it. I played it. I'm like, no, it's pretty fun. And like, I have people that are fans are like, no, it's not fun. It's awful. I'm like, well, you waited for fucking 15
It's
years
like
for the game to come out. What did
The
you
inverse
expect?
Mass Effect for you.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
to me,
true.
it's the same mentality. The people who latch onto, oh my God, this game is going to be the greatest thing ever because we
Right.
don't know shit about it, are the same people who, that when it comes out, go, this is terrible because we found out what it's like.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it's-
it was okay,
So-
but I think Half-Life 3 will be the same thing. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good. I mean, the other Half-Lives were great, but
Another classic example that we've talked about before is Spore. People were so crazy about Spore, not knowing anything about this game. Like they saw some demos and all that stuff that were so pie in the sky. You know, when developers talk about, here's our logo, now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build this game that's like no one's ever seen. You're gonna go to different galaxies and all this stuff, and people are just like, ah. And then the game comes out, it's like, oh, it's a game that people were capable of making.
Yeah.
And this is it.
Yeah,
Now we hate
stuff
it.
had to get cut. This
Yeah.
game had to ship. It could not be in development for 15 years.
Right.
Yeah, so Half-Life 2 came out in 04. Half-Life 2 is sold. It came out on the original Xbox and on the Xbox 360.
Wow.
it was
04.
on the original Xbox?
Yep, it came on the original Xbox November 15th,
Holy
2005.
shit. I didn't even know that.
What do you mean? It came on the original Xbox? Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that either.
Good lord.
I don't remember that at all.
Neither do I.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
First time I ever played it was on Orange Box.
Really?
You never played it in the PC or anything?
When we
I
were
never really played PC.
in the early days of Rooster Teeth, we had to buy a couple of computers at your old spare bedroom when before we even had the first office. And I remember the graphics cards came with Steam keys for Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
And that's how I played Half-Life 2. I was like, oh, sweet. I finally get to play this. It was probably right around the time it came out.
Seriously, wow. Half-Life, to me, the original one, was such a turning point for video games because it was, obviously, having made Red vs. Blue, I always liked narrative and cinematic stuff. But Half-Life was the first game that I ever played where there was an entire story told that was amazing and cool, had twists and turns, and there was 0 cutscenes in the game. I thought it was fucking crazy. No cutscenes. It was just nuts.
For the record, I played Half-Life 2 in
No,
2004. Yeah,
the
I played
original.
the original
So
Half-Life,
I
yeah.
was dying to play Half-Life 2 when it came out. I was like so excited. So I played it as soon as it came out. And it's hard to believe it's going to be 10 years since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it totally makes sense, you know. But you could argue that, you know, Half-Life 2 is what led to Team Fortress 2 and Portal and other games
Oh, yeah,
like
Half-Life
that.
2, I mean, provided the Source engine, which then is a platform for just
Right.
about everything else that they've done.
What was the gap between Doom 2 and Doom 3? That was pretty
That was
significant
another
too.
big one.
It wasn't
Doom 2 was early 90s,
Doom
man.
3.
Doom
not
2, I want to say
good.
was 94? No, Doom 1 was 94.
Was it? Yeah.
Doom
Shit,
3 was probably like 2002, 2003.
Doom 2 was 94.
94. And then I think Doom 3 was like early 2000s.
And Doom 3 was 2004, 10 years.
2004.
10
okay.
years.
It's a little
Yeah.
more than I thought.
Hard to believe there's 10 years between Doom 2 and Doom,
Doom 3 came out the same year as Half-Life 2. Doom 3 came out 2 months before Half-Life 2.
Crazy. I'm
Half-Life
pretty sure
2 's
Friends
better.
was still on the air when they were doing
Probably.
that. Yeah. I mean, I know Seinfeld was long ago, but it's crazy how much that stuff gets dated. Yeah. But then again, don't forget Half-Life 2 did have episodes 1 and 2, and I don't know how long ago, but it doesn't seem like that long ago that episode 2 was out. And that one, if you haven't played it by now, you probably wouldn't be watching a gaming podcast. But episode 2 ended on a hell of a cliffhanger too.
Yeah,
I
huge.
mean, a hell of a
And
cliffhanger.
I think that's the most frustrating part. And I think that's what's helped contribute to this fervor for Half-Life 3. I think everyone's given up on episode 3.
Oh, absolutely.
And now they know the payoff's going to come in this other game, so they're waiting for this longer
I mean,
form.
episodic gaming was like this flash in the pan, and Half-Life fell right in the middle of
So
it.
when Half-Life 3 is a prequel, how upset are people going to be?
Oh my God.
You have to play as Gordon Freeman performing like these super scientific experiments. It's like, here, do calculus for 10 hours.
You have to get him
Oh,
through
God.
college, basically. You got to get him through grad school. It's like Gordon Freeman intern. So when was episode 2?
Episode 2 was 2007.
2007. Okay. Yeah,
Still
but
a
man,
while.
it's still
Yeah.
a long time. You know, I have to say, I'm really proud of this, is that the Orange Box is one of my proudest 100% titles.
What is there, 99 achievements?
99 achievements
And
in that game.
the portal ones are by far the worst, I think. The steps.
You know, my favorite, I think you have it. My favorite achievement across any game is 7 Day Survivor on Dead Rising, the original one. Do you have that one?
I have that one, yeah.
Yeah, so does Ray. And a close second, though, is the Rocket Man achievement in Half-Life 2.
Is that the one with
Is
the
that Noam Chomsky?
Yeah.
You got to pick up the gnome at
Yeah,
the beginning
I
of
don't
the
have
game.
that. I didn't do that. I didn't really go through and like perfect those games.
Oh, it's really tough. I would say that the ones that took me the longest were the Portal ones, where it counts your steps on the map, and you have to
That's
get
the
the
worst
least
one.
amount of steps.
That I quit perfecting that game because of that.
Yeah.
I was just like, no, I'm never gonna do this. So fuck it. Fuck all the other achievements. Fuck this game.
You can't even see your feet in the game. You just hear tap tap. You know,
And it's like you just do the whole puzzle perfectly, and then it's just that fucking hallway at the end.
Yeah.
Of just like, how do you get down the hallway? Sometimes you use 3 steps. Sometimes you use 48.
you're absolutely right.
And it's just like, "Brrr!" if that fucking black floor, whatever it is I haven't played in forever, wasn't down that hallway, if I could portal down the fucking hallway
Right.
at the end, I'd do it.
Yep.
I would do it. But it's just like, no matter how perfect you are, you just get to the end, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, it's we have to watch walkthroughs on like frame by frame
Yep.
on YouTube of how to do it. It's what I do. But the other one that took me a long time in that was 1,000 kills in Team Fortress 2 on the Xbox. That took a long damn time, dude. But I'll tell you what, it did get me to play a whole lot of Team Fortress 2. A whole lot. Hey, can somebody grab JJ? Can you want to grab this from me and charge that just in case? I don't have an adapter for that. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I sent it out, was on a previous episode of the patch, we had talked about guides or a set of guidelines for
right.
achievements
Our
and or
manifesto.
trophies. Yeah, our manifesto. Thank you. That we want to do. Obviously, one of our biggest departments, if you want to call it that, at Rooster Teeth is Achievement Hunter. And we all really like achievements.
I love
And
achievements.
trophies, and I guess they're called achievements on Steam too, right?
Yeah.
That what they have there, and even in World of Warcraft. I guess they're only called.
I think every platform calls them achievements except for PlayStation,
Which I get why they don't. I mean, it makes sense to me. They want to differentiate themselves in some way. But so we thought we would go through and try to come up with the guidelines. We came up with 10 basic rules. I talked to Gavin, Michael, and Ray about it, but we wanted to run them by you and see if any of these make sense to you.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let me pull up your.
I love writing manifestos. It's
got-
like the weekend.
I gotta,
Charts!
gotta pull it up here on my phone. See if I can pull this thing up.
We've all been there.
The first one was that there should be no secret achievements in an achievement list unless they're directly related to spoilers in campaign.
Correct.
And that's it.
Correct.
Okay. The next one was that if you have a game and you play on a higher difficulty level and get an achievement for completing a campaign, that the higher difficulty levels should always unlock the lesser difficulties.
Absolutely.
Every single time. Did you ever run into a
So-
game that did that to you?
No, I
I've
don't
had
think
at least
so.
like 5.
But-
There's a bunch.
Yeah, Gun was one that I remember. And Gavin
Yep.
said Hitman Blood Money. You had to play the game 4 times to get the easy achievement,
Oh, wow.
the normal achievement, hard, and then whatever,
Wow.
Super
Shadows
Hitman.
of the Damned was another one. You had to play it fucking 3 times.
God,
just
just-
to get the difficulty achievements.
It's really annoying.
I think Metro 2033 is the same thing, which
Yeah.
I just played recently. Because the second one came out. Really good, by the way, Last
right
Light.
here, yeah.
Last Light's really fun.
I've got it. I haven't gotten around to it. I'm trying to play all these old games to get to it.
All right, and then another one was we specifically got into a discussion about negative achievements, like 0-point achievements that aren't worth anything, and they're typically what they call negative achievements. Like Superman Returns had one where if you used any cheat code, it unlocked an achievement, which you can't then get rid of, which said you used a cheat code.
Okay.
But it was 0 points, so it was tough. It didn't cost you anything in gamer score to get it, so you didn't feel compelled to get it for gamer score, but it does count for completing all the achievements in the game that you would have to do this. And sometimes they'll ping you like, oh, you lost 5 games in a row, 5 matches. Here, we're going to ping you with a negative achievement. I personally don't like negative achievements.
They're fine to me as long as they don't involve team killing. Like, I forgot what game it was. There was a game.
Was it really?
Oh, yeah, there was one.
Wow.
There was a game with team killing. What
I didn't
was
know that.
I-
That's fucked up.
Yeah, I think Brad is telling me. I think it was one of the Turok games. I think it got removed.
I think it was.
Before it. It may have been removed before it launched, but one of the achievements was to like kill a teammate in a multiplayer game.
One of the worst thing about multiplayer achievements in general, besides that, is just that because there's specifics in multiplayer, people don't play the fucking game. Because you get people that want the achievements, so it's like you have half a team of people trying to play multiplayer, and the other half is like, oh, I need to go do this with a grenade or whatever. Or like an Assassin's Creed, like I gotta kill somebody from a bale of hay, so I'm gonna go fucking hide in the hay for 48 minutes. Like multiplayer achievements piss me off, and they fuck up the multiplayer game. Just play the damn game.
And that, to me, it's like, we've talked about this before. Personally, to me, I think achievements are the way they make single player competitive.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
multiplayer is its own ranking system.
I
So
agree.
what we came up for that was multiplayer achievements should be limited to, quote, getting started, and should solely be related to the XP or reward system that already exists in multiplayer.
Yeah.
And we had good examples of this. Like in Borderlands, when you want to play different classes, it says get up to level 10 in every character. So that's like a getting started kind of achievement where, yeah, we want you to try different classes, but we're not going to tell you have to play through the game as the
Get
siren.
50 with all 4 people.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
annoying. It's always like max out every fucking class. It's like, I don't want to.
And Halo does it well. Like I think Halo 4 is like win 25 multiplayer matches, which is a lot. I mean, 25 is a lot, but it should be like kind of like get them started, get them like, hey, multiplayer in this game exists, go play it, and that's it. Not like, and then this probably ties in well to this because for a lot of franchises, DLC is multiplayer only. Halo's a good one example of that. Call of Duty, they don't add on campaign missions or
not
anything
very
like
often.
that. I mean, there's DLC for Spartan Ops, but we also said that the DLC achievements should be on par with the difficulty of the achievements in the original retail game. Meaning, one we called out specifically is Halo 3. They had all these achievements that were pretty normal. There were some really difficult ones like get a laser shot with 2 people in it.
Yeah.
Or get a kill-tacular, which is hard. But then in the DLC was get a perfection medal. And that's like, to us, that's like, that's its own medal, is getting
Yeah.
a perfection. And to get tie an achievement into that is, nobody's going to get that.
Yeah, perfection's fucking hard, dude.
It's 15 kills and no deaths.
Is it 15?
You have to kill 15 people because you
I
have
thought
to
it was higher than
you have to play in the game.
Yeah.
And do it. Any of these
I'm
stand
agreeing
out to
with
you?
them. Manifesto should be more aggressive, though.
I specifically put this one in. I hate developer like glory hole achievements. Like play with somebody from the development team.
Yeah.
And like those viral achievements and things like that. Those just don't seem like those are beyond the player's control.
Yeah, I don't like
know.
that.
Especially early on. I could be wrong on this, but weren't there some that was kind of before they went viral?
Yeah,
Where
before,
it wasn't even play with someone or someone who has it. It was like play with the developer.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
And
It's like, well, are they gonna play the fucking game forever?
yeah, I
Like
know.
who the fuck played it after a month? You know what I mean?
It's
or
true.
Even like they're fucking sick of it. It's their goddamn game.
God, they've been
It's
playing it for probably 2 years
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah. There's good examples of that. Like there's a Chicken Toucher in Battle Block Theater, which is play with a member of the development team or somebody who has the achievement, which is just like you never no control over that. Or like a month in, everybody has the damn achievement because
Right.
every time you start it up.
It goes against the whole fucking word achievement. It's pure luck. It's like hope you play online with someone
Yeah.
that has something that you don't.
And
How the fuck is that an achievement?
I understand the development team that works on the game. They want to they deserve some kind of credit in there. Bungie always did a cool thing where they gave themselves flaming helmets.
Yeah.
That was badass.
That's great.
And I think they do it well in Grand Theft Auto as well. The co-op achievement, you're trying to beat the development team's scores in those mission games.
Right.
Like the helicopter one and
Right.
the boat one. You're trying to beat the development team. That kind of thing to call the development team, I think is cool.
Right. We did this. Can you beat our fucking time?
Yeah, but not like come to our house and wash our
Yeah.
car. kind of a thing. And let me see. I think the last one, this is totally mine. No poker achievements in non-poker games, and no racing achievements in fucking non-racing games. I just hate that. It's like I call those crowbar achievements where it's like I don't know why in all open world games now it used to be just racing.
Yeah.
Like in Red Dead, you had to race your horse and all that stuff. But now it's poker. You got to play fucking poker in everything.
Yeah.
Far Cry 3, the Red Dead
yeah,
Redemption had an entire poker DLC. I can't stand it.
The mini games in Red Dead and the achievements that are tied to them are just brutal.
Yeah, you shouldn't have that. You should have
It's
achievements
just
related to the
crazy.
game, the core game, not
Yeah.
all this other ancillary side game stuff.
No achievements should ever be tied to factors that are outside the player's control, such as number of people online.
Okay.
NBA Live and some other games have that. Now, here's the thing that we talked about. Should there be a guideline that developers have, like, if I play a standard game, whatever that is, standard game, but like a Mass Effect or a Halo or a Call of Duty, where I finish the campaign, and I finish the campaign on the highest possible difficulty, how much of the gamer score should I have unlocked at that point? Would you say?
80%.
80%.
Yeah.
How much would you
That's
say?
high. I would say around 60.
We settled in at 66%. Like 2/3 of the game is based in just finishing the campaign on the highest difficulty. Like if I finished Halo 4 on Legendary, I would want to think I have 2/3 of the achievements unlocked at that point.
Okay.
Like I'm 2/3 of the way through
I'm
that
willing
game.
to compromise down from 80. It's
All
a
right.
manifesto. We have to be
Yeah.
aggressive.
What is,
Well, I
it,
like-
what is it going to take to put you in an achievement today?
The thing is about that though is I do like good achievements that I don't just get from playing the game. Like I'm fine for getting like, just level specific stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And a lot of that, the thing I like about achievements is the fact that everyone doesn't get them. You know what I mean? So it's like I'd like a decent chunk of achievements that's like you feel accomplished for getting it. Because it's like getting an achievement at the end of every level is great for beating it, but it's like a freebie. It's like I beat the level, I got it. Me and every other person on the planet got it. But it's like, did you beat the level without killing every dude, or whatever like
Right.
that? Like I like those achievements. I'm a fan of that. I like feeling like I've done so much more than other people have with the game. So I'd like some. That's my only complaint with The Last of Us is that the list is fucking awful. The trophy list is terrible in that game.
I don't get it. It
It's
looks
only
like two different games.
There's only 24, first of all. That's crazy. Like the minimum, the standard's like 40 or 50 usually for achievements or trophies. There's only 24, and almost all of them are like story completion and collectibles. Like almost every single one. There's like a handful of ones that are like do fun stuff in the game, like do something outside the normal course of the game.
Right.
And then there's a bunch of multiplayer ones that require, I think the multiplayer achievements require a minimum of like 160 online matches, which is why I'm not doing it.
Wow, that's
But,
crazy.
yeah, that list is only 24. So I wish there was like a better control over, the
That's what I'm-
standard.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure that out. It's like what does it take and what does everybody hate that always ends up in the damn game? And it's part of the developers' kind of job to make their game better is to make achievements that make sense and are doable. Like there were some early Ubisoft games where it's like get to number 1 on the leaderboard.
Yeah,
Graw.
like it was Graw.
Graw.
And I get it.
There's like 3 of those
Yeah.
in that one game.
And what they're saying is like, wow, if you get to number 1 on the leaderboard, we're going to give you a permanent record that you hit number 1.
Yeah.
That I get. That makes sense. But it's like, but that's not the way achievements have evolved, like where it's a gray box and players want to fill in the gray box. They want to do all this stuff and 100% it. I mean, geez, even on World of Warcraft, Gus, when they introduced achievements, I was like, yeah. And then I looked at it, and there was too many. It's
There's
like
like
tons.
400 million.
you're just never,
Yeah.
you're never gonna get them. It's like I don't know why that just was
They just
completely
flooded
unappealing
you.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm not gonna
I
get.
think like 40 or 50 is like the perfect attainable number. Like
go
I
with
feel
that.
accomplished when I get them all.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we're at about time.
Wait, I got two more here
Okay.
that I think are relevant. The number of completed games should not be decreased by the developer releasing DLC the player does not own.
I have
Yeah.
God knows how many games.
And I understand the PlayStation doesn't do that, actually. You keep your Platinum Trophy if you get retail, and then that's locked forever.
Good.
That's what a Platinum Trophy is. And the last one is, no collection achievement should ever be unattainable after a certain point in the game, which would then require you to replay potentially the entire game. Meaning like Fallout 3, if you miss a bobblehead in a vault, and then
yeah.
the vault is locked off to you and you can't get back there. Or in Assassin's Creed with the Conversationalist achievement.
There's one. I like that in The Last of Us.
Is there?
Fucking Ellie's jokes. Like listen to all her jokes, which
Yeah.
you can miss, and listen to all the conversations in the
All
whole
the
game.
optional
Yeah.
conversations.
Not even all of them, just specific ones. There's like
Oh, really? I'm
27
looking at it
specific
here.
conversations. Because it's like when something's going on, like an extra optional thing, there'll be like a triangle over someone's head, and there'll be like a little speaker
Yeah.
thing, like a
Yeah.
mouth or whatever.
Right.
And it's just like you walk up to something and like, some assholes just start talking about some shit. But there's like 20 of those in the game.
Yeah.
You got to get them all.
There's a really kind of moment of zen scene with one of those that I really just love. It's later in the game, It's like a real peaceful moment in that game that I just absolutely love. So, but we're not going to spoil it. But
I'll hear about it as soon as we're done here.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, want to thank everyone for listening, watching, and we'll be back next week live again.
If you guys have any ideas for achievement guidelines that we missed, we're going to be working on this list as we go forward. Please make sure you tweet them or mail them to us or however people contact us. Just yell at the top
Call
of
the
your
Yellow
lungs.
Pages.
Yeah, I
There
was
you
going
go.
to say that.
We're right below Atari.